Mandy and I have been together for about 4 years. We had our ups and downs, like any couple. There were definitely more ups than downs. Things only took a turn for the worst when I started drinking again. You see, I am a recovering alcoholic. Mandy never knew me when I was at the worst of my drinking. We met after I had already recovered. Except an alcoholic never truly recovers. Anyone who has been in the same boat knows that you are only one drink away from relapse. That drink came at an early office Christmas party. I don't know what came over me. I'm normally so disciplined about these things. I could say that it was peer pressure, that my colleagues pushed me into it. But I would only be denying the reality of the fact that I was weak. That fatal drink led to another, and another. And before I knew it, I was outside, throwing up into the gutter. I could not face the look on Mandy's face if I got home and she saw me like that. And so, in my befuddled and drunk state, I decided a better idea would be to go and spend a night in a hotel. That was probably an even worse decision than the drinking. The next morning, I awoke to about 100 messages on my phone, each one increasingly more panicked, as Mandy was desperate to know where I was. There were messages from friends as well, urging me to call her. She was terrified that something terrible has happened to me. Who can blame her? I should have called her straight away. I should have probably just called in sick at work and gone straight home to see her. But no. I made the problem worse by texting her a simple message to say everything was fine and I was on my way to work. That was the beginning of our problems. When I got home that night, we had a massive row. I walked out, slamming the door behind me, and headed to the nearest bar. Things went rapidly downhill from there. Within a week, Mandy had moved out and was living at her parents' house. I was lucky in some respects. I was able to stop drinking almost as quickly as I had started again. But by that time, the damage had been done. Mandy didn't care about the drinks, of course she didn't. What she cared about was the way I had treated her, and with good reason. I went to see her every night after work, but her parents would not let me in. I don't think they ever liked me much anyway, and this was me proving them right. It was at this time that I came to you, Joshua. I knew you could help because you had already helped a friend of mine. So I filled in the form on your site. I wanted the full paid casting because I could not face Christmas alone and wanted this done as soon as possible. However, Christmas was just a couple of days away, and as gifted as you are, I know that casting a spell takes a whole day and that it is highly unlikely to see results within a day or two. So I did have to spend Christmas alone. It was my punishment, and I fully deserved it. It was the third day of Christmas when Mandy came knocking on the door. She looked awful. We fell into each other's arms, and she was sobbing. She said she was so sorry she had made me spend Christmas alone. I said I was so sorry for everything I had done and said, about how stupid the whole thing had been. She told me that she had had a change of heart. And guess what? Well, of course you already know. Her change of heart came the day you cast the spell. I was not at all surprised, because that is how it was for my friend that you helped. Okay, I was a little bit surprised that it all happened so fast. Maybe it's because we hadn't been apart for very long. Or maybe it's just I got lucky. I am, and will always be, eternally grateful for your help, Joshua. I will always recommend you to anyone who ever needs help with their romantic life. Mandy and I were able to see in the new year together, even if we had our Christmas apart. For that, and for the fact we will always be together from now on, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.